Grew up a screw up. Sean C back in here with another review. And today we got Boruto episode 3. And this was a pretty straightforward episode. The whole thing pretty much encompasses Metal Lee's struggle to get rid of his shyness and his nervousness when other people are watching him. We get a little bit more insight into Boruto's eye, get a little bit more insight into what it is that is making certain students go crazy. So let's hop right into it. At the very beginning of the episode, we get this kind of chimera looking creature, so I'm guessing that's insight into what we may get as to what's controlling these students or what's leading them to go crazy, this dark chakra that's attaching itself to people. I think that's a setup for maybe a future arc. But let's dive into the star of this episode, who is Metal Lee. I'm assuming, I'm not 100%, I hope I'm right, but I'm assuming that this is Rock Lee's son, possibly the son of Tintin as well. Maybe Rock Lee got in that 10-10 and made it 20. That was horrible. Basically, Metal Lee is a genius when he's by himself, but when he's around other people, he's a complete klutz. He proves this during shuriken practice. Shino asks all the students to, get their shuriken and their weapons ready, and we're about to begin target practice. Metal Lee is one of the few people that actually hits it right on target, along with Shikadai and Inoichi. But the minute Metal Lee notices that Shikadai and Inoichi are watching him, he completely fails. Boruto comes out of nowhere with this demon wind shuriken that he got from Iwabe's locker. He just chunks it like recklessly at Metal Lee. I'm guessing he's trying to hit the target. Why you would use a shuriken this big? Come on now. But again, Metal Lee knows a bunch of people are watching him, so he screws up again, which in my opinion, I don't really think is a screw up, because that could have chopped him in half, and the fact that he manages to get his foot in between that little hole is amazing to me. Nonetheless, he doesn't make a graceful exit, and Shino chastises Boruto, Iwabe, the class president, Inoichi, and Shikadai for what Boruto did. And I'm assuming this is just an excuse to get more people to work on the Hokage face, because all those kids didn't do what Boruto did. Like, they didn't need to be involved at all. As they're working on the Hokage stone faces, the same thing happens with Metal Lee. He notices that he's being watched, and he's hammering that fucking nail into the Hokage face, and he cracks it even more. And as you can see, he's depressed as they're all walking home because he, keeps screwing up in front of people. He knows, he's aware of his issue. Shikadai actually brings light to it in front of everyone, and it comes across as a little harsh. Even Inoichi says it's harsh, and then Iwabe says exactly what I was thinking as soon as Inoichi said it. I was like, you have no room to talk after what you just said last episode. Shikadai goes home and gets chastised by Tamari, who is acting, they're not forcing her character either. She's acting as I think she should be able to act as a mom. Kamaru comes home and he's telling, Shikadai not to take it so hard, you're gonna make mistakes. Accept and acknowledge the fact that since you're human, and since you make mistakes, give that same kind of lenient behavior with other people, and don't be so hard on them when they make mistakes. And Shikamaru actually seems proud because his son has a conscience, and because he's getting into trouble so that he knows, Shikadai has room to grow, and that makes him happy. So the next time Shikadai sees Metal Lee, he goes and tries to apologize. Metal Lee is already taken over by this evil presence, and at this point it's already too late. Metal Lee goes to attack Shikadai, and then Boruto and Inoichi have to get involved to try to stop him. And this is where Boruto, his eye ability comes into play. I don't know if this is, them trying to say that this is a Tenseigan they might be emerging in Boruto, but it looks like his Tenseigan, or whatever this thing is, this strange eye power that he has, it looks like it can at least see chakra. Or maybe whatever it is that chimera thing is doing to these people triggered his eye powers. So he's asking Inoichi and Shikadai if they can see this, and they're basically saying they can't. Shikadai, just so much like Shikamaru, strategizes the entire situation. Just as smart, everything goes according to plan, with the exception of Metal Lee pretty much opening one of the gates and breaking free from Shikadai's shadow. He's still a klutz and manages to throw himself into a tree and knocks himself out of this dark form. The darkness fades from his body. Shikadai finally makes his apology. Everything's all good. The next time Metal Lee actually sees them, he chastises them because they're not working hard, and they convince him to come back and chill and play this game, and he does the same thing. He gets nervous because people are watching him and he can't perform, so he literally breaks Boruto's game with the force. Boruto's going nuts at this point, but I like it because not all problems are going to be solved that quickly. That kind of problem I think is going to take episodes and episodes and episodes, and I think it's going to lead to more character development for Metal Lee down the road. But this eye problem, this eye power that Boruto has, is still a mystery. We still don't have any answers on it. It's only in one eye. Seems to be triggered by another presence, because from what I've seen, it hasn't happened when he's just going through his day-to-day. It seems to be triggered when he sees or is able to sense somebody with this darkness on them. He even asks Hinata. She doesn't really add that much context to what he's trying to ask. I mean, she just tells him the basics of the BYAKUGAN. And this is where kind of more problems stem with Naruto and Boruto, because Naruto comes home and the first thing he does is wants to go to sleep. So this creates the conflict in the future between Boruto and Naruto, because Boruto's upset and doesn't understand why Naruto can't sit at the table to eat. And that's pretty much the episode. Good amount of character development for people like Shikadai and Metal Lee. We got a little bit more of Boruto's powers, just a little bit more insight as to what it could be. I don't know what this strange thing is that's controlling these people, that's making them go insane. And for next week's episode, it looks like I'm gonna like it because it involves Sarada finally, and we're gonna get a little conflict, a little feuding between Boruto and Sarada. So I'm excited to see that. I want to know if it's gonna be anything like Naruto and Sasuke, or if this is gonna actually turn into like some kind of romance thing. But yeah, let me know down in the comment section below if you guys enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the episode, leave a big thumbs up. I appreciate it a lot. I'm really excited for next week's episode. I seriously am. I think that's gonna be my favorite. See you guys next time. Peace.